Okay. You know what they say. It's Gauntlet time. They say that, right? I'm pretty sure they say that. It's me again. I'm back. Gonna do some more gaming. Thanks everybody for the GGs on marbles. Also, good to see you, Mad Mega. Good to see you, Jason. How's it going, Say? And yeah, we are gonna do some Gauntlet. I think it's roughly -2. Who's counting? I'm not counting. It's true, they are always saying. Okay. You should try it, Threech. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. That's fine. Yeah, probably needed to be like more like 1.5. Cheating timer. Just cheating the timer. No big deal. This is a fun game. Not only is it a fun game, but it's substantially safer than it used to be, thanks to a bunch of manipulations that were discovered that makes the late game much safer. Basically solved. Still a pretty heavy execution game, but it's way more palatable than it used to be. Because late in the game, there are a bunch of treasure rooms. Let me back up. The game is a port of an arcade game, and it loves to just take your health. If you look at my health in the HUD in the top left corner, like every second that ticks by, roughly, I'm losing 1 health. So the game just bleeds you dry as quick as it can. Well, not as quick as it can. You could do it a lot quicker than this, I'm sure, if it wanted to. But yeah, 4th try. Hey, get in there. So one of the ways to circumvent the issue that is dealing with losing your health all the time is by getting out of a treasure room before time expires, which seems simple enough, and in the earlier treasure rooms it is. However, in Worlds 4 and 5, the treasure rooms in the end game, they all have 16 exits, and only 1 of them is real. So getting the one that you want can be a bit of a challenge. Unless you can do a specific sequence of inputs to manipulate and guarantee the location of your treasure room exit, which is something that we can do as of like 2022, like summer 2022, there or thereabouts. Well, fear not, Empty Eye. It may not be a Godboner % run, but it is a Godboner run. So don't worry about that. Godboner may not be the fastest password, but it is the best. I'll go around to save a shot. I'm not proud. So yeah, so how do we do the manipulation? I hear no one ask. Well, that's a great question. And it all came together courtesy of 3 people. Because it was Jesus the Frog who figured out... Thank you, Mika. It was Jesus the Frog that figured out that if you pause the game... Well, first of all, he isolated the value in Memory Watch that dictates the location of the treasure room exit, or really of any exit, in a room where an exit can be in multiple locations. Now, score does not matter in this game. In fact, we barely shoot anything. Because shooting is slow, running is fast. So, essentially, he isolated the value in Memory Watch that dictates the location of the exit, and also figured out that if you pause the game, that value goes to 0. So it's rolling at 60 frames per second from 0 to 255, basically, just on a loop. But if you pause the game, not only does it freeze, these are some good exits, it's pretty funny. Not only does it freeze, but it goes to 0 and then freezes. And the next Palm Factory discovered that if you pause the game while you're in the middle of the swirl animation, as you're leaving a room, that will frame perfectly dismiss the room after you unpause it. Which means that you've now gotten out of the room. If you pause while swirling and then unpause, you leave the room, and you still have I tried. I decided I was going to try to clip through him. No clip. It's fine. And we're doing great. So you can leave the room and still have the exit location on frame 0. However, the movement of that frame advance resumes the moment the map screen comes up. That's the map screen right there. So, how do you deal with the map screen? And what Unos figured out, so shout outs to Unos as well, that if you hold down the A button as the swirl begins, and then release it as the room fades out, it will frame perfectly dismiss the map screen in the minimum available number of frames, which is 2. So, pausing the game sets the value to 0. But doing it on the swirl keeps it at 0 in the room screen. And then frame perfectly dismissing the map screen gives you a value of 2 every time you enter a treasure room. Yells, congratulations on 50 treasures. Gotta, you know, pump myself up. You know how it is. So, thank you, 3H. Appreciate that very much. Thank you, Empty Eye. So, you may notice, and you may not have, which is also fine. You may notice that I'm not using, thank you, Jason, that I'm not using the manipulation at all so far. I've mentioned lots of things about pausing. I don't think you've seen me pause the game once. That's because for the earlier treasure rooms, there really isn't any value because the exits are normally so close by that it's inconsequential. And then also these World 3 treasure rooms, these massive rooms, have 22 different exits, but the map is not consistent. It seems like there can be more than one World 3 treasure room map for certain rooms. And even when it does appear to be consistent, unfortunately, the frame 2 treasure room is in a really bad spot. You want like frames like 6 through 10, something like that, to get really good ones. So we really don't see manipulations, for the most part, being executed until World 4 and World 5. Deedly-dee. Okay. Speaking of, this is going to be the end of World 3 right here. Ah, well. People were congratulating me for 50 treasures. I can't even imagine what they'll say for 100. World 4 gives us 3 rooms that have invisible walls. That was one of them. Thank you, 3H. There we go. Those are the 3 rooms. with invisible walls. Shooting a potion of any kind has the same benefit as using a potion, which is basically, it's a magic spell. Yeah. Thank you, Empty Eye. I have a theory about it, Threech, that was less important in favor of just being able to finish the run. But I do have a theory that I'm happy to run by you. On those leeches. Let me in. So that was an example of a World 4 treasure room. There are 16 exits in this honeycomb fashion, and there's teleporters blocking you from accessing each one. The fun thing about the teleporters is that you can kind of encourage them to take you where you want to go, but ultimately you're going to go where it wants you to. But yeah, an example of manip right there, stepping on the exit, pausing the game, holding A, unpausing the game, and then holding... Oh, there we go. Like holding A and then releasing A. It's difficult to explain while the game is going on. Yeah. I do! And that's another part of a manipulation as well, XZS. So we know what our vault code is going to be because of the very first thing that we did at the beginning of the run. The very first thing that we did was we buffered our elf selection so that the first available frame that we could choose the elf, we did. We did it off of a soft reset, and that gave us continue codes that begin with the letter I, which means that our vault code, because every continue code that starts with the letter I has the exact same vault code, which is Godboner. It's G7DBONHR. It's freely manipulatable. Oh, I went for it. Okay. We're gonna just grab the backup. I'm gonna grab the backup bomb in room 100. It's fine. I don't think I buffered left there. Well, also, good grief. Well, we'll see what happens. Buffering left is a way to make sure that you do get the right exit here after you pick up the most important item in the whole run. We'll see. Still worked. Doesn't always work, though, if you don't hold it, so luckily, we're good. Oh, and Godboner is not the fastest one. It's the best one. Key distinction. You're good, you're good. I think if you were to look at the list of Gauntlet passwords and rank them based upon the number of D-pad presses that you needed in order to enter them, Godboner is probably, I think, tied for 7th fastest or something, maybe? If I recall correctly. I may be wrong. Nice clip. I went to great clips. Whoa, get in there. So the crux of all of this. Oh, I used all my shots. It's fine. It's fine. The crux of this entire run, apart from just knowing what your vault code is going to be ahead of time, was at the end of room, I think it was 87, I picked up a temporary invulnerability buff, and that temporary invulnerability buff allowed me to take no damage from anything, but my health ticks down twice as fast in exchange. Spare bomb. And then in exchange, well, that paired with the manipulations just makes movement throughout the end of the run much freer, much easier. As long as you do the manips right, and your movement is relatively clean, you're in good shape. And I can just sit here and I can just truck this guy and take a boatload of damage. Doesn't matter. We have exhausted all of our resources. We have no keys, we have no bombs. But we also have no worries. 1504. Bang. We got the egg. It looks like an egg. It's an orb that looks like an egg, but it's totally an orb. But it's not, it's an egg. The eggiest looking orb I've ever seen. And there you go. The gauntlet goes by so quickly. It is hard to even have time to talk through stuff on my own. Is that 8th? Nice. Very good, very good. Also, shout-outs to Threech, by the way, because Threech very patiently learned this run at AGDQ in the practice room. And she's finished a bunch of runs now, and it's really exciting. I think the... Oh, I don't want to speak for what your speedrun goals are. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you're doing fabulous. Thank you for the GGs. Well, first of all, thank you for the egg, Reach. Thank you for the GGs, Say and Jason and Mega. And then thank you for the GG as well. Patak. MTI, thank you for the orb. Thank you, Damron. Thank you, PW. The pelt in level 100. I'm not sure what is meant by the pelt, unless you're talking about the egg that we picked up. So the egg is what's on the little plinth there right next to us, as I point as though you can see where I'm pointing. But yeah, so essentially the whole purpose of this was not to just get out, but to save the sacred orb. You save the orb, save the world. So, that's simple. Or at least we save Rendar, and then we get fireworks in the daytime. Anyway, we've got more games coming. How do you feel about Super Dodgeball? Personally, I feel real good about it. And you'll see how good in just a few minutes.